you have to not take yourself too seriously. Literally, the owner of all this wears a yellow tuxedo. All right. It's about fun.
All right, welcome back to the deal. I'm Jason Kelly alongside Alex Rodriguez. And man, this is one that we have been anticipating for a long time because we have watched this business explode. Jesse Cole joins us. He is the creator of the Savannah Bananas. Jesse, welcome to the show. So great to have you with us.
I'm excited to be with you guys. Let's have some fun.
Let's do some table setting when we start off because even as our team and we were researching this, I want to understand, and I know Alex does too, sort of the scope and the structure of this business because it starts as one team, but now it's essentially a league. Help us understand like what this empire looks like at this point.
Well, context 11 years ago, we started as a college summer baseball team. So, one of the lowest levels of baseball. And we were in the Coastal Plain League, and we had a 4,000 seat stadium. We only sold 2 tickets in our first 3 months. So, my wife and I had to sell our house, empty out our savings account, sleeping on an airbed, and we mortgaged everything. And that's where it started. And we had to get people excited about a college summer baseball team. So, we went all in, named the team the Bananas, and luckily we started selling out games there at 4,000 seat stadium. After about 3 or 4 years of selling out every single game, winning the championship, I was watching the fans and realizing that they would leave early. And we actually started videotaping. We had a camera every 30 minutes and watching when fans would get up, when would they leave their seat, when were they not paying attention. And I realized that the game was too long for the average fan. And so we started crafting without anyone knowing a new game called Banana Ball and eliminating all the boring parts of baseball for the average fan. So we eliminated mound visits, no stepping out of the box, no walks, no bunting. If you bunt, you're thrown out of the game. Like we just started creating unique rules. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. And we said, let's just test this. So back in 2018, we did it behind closed doors. 2020, COVID hit. We did it in front of a few fans. And then we said, we're going all in on that. So 2021, we went all in with a one city world tour, which we called it a one city world tour. You know, we're going to start small, dream big. And we did it in Mobile in front of 3,500 fans. Went well, went to 7 cities, then went to 33 cities, and then left the Coastal Plain League. And then have added teams each year. And so now we have 6 teams. We'll play in front of 3.4 million fans this year. There's 4.2 million people on our wait list. Every team sells out. We just crossed over 500 straight sellouts, all going back from 2016. And we're fortunate. We got 10 football stadiums, NFL stadiums. And yeah, it's fun. We're building brands, but mostly just building it fans first. That's the name of our company. And that's where we started.
So Jesse, when you say 3.4 million fans, if my memory serves me right, that's probably one Major League Baseball team that's drawing more. And that's probably the LA Dodgers. Maybe it's a class of one, maybe two. So the Dodgers and your team, that's a pretty good class to be involved with. But I guess my question is, and I love what you're doing because baseball is in many ways synonymous with everything that I've done in my life. And it was
Yeah.
my first love. And I love watching baseball. I love everything about it. I guess if you were a baseball commissioner for one day with keeping the history and the integrity of the game intact, how would you try to think about competing as the NFL, the NBA, NHL, Netflix, and everything else that's competing for consumers?
I think Major League Baseball has done a great job over the last few years. You watch what's happened. The games are faster. There's a lot more excitement. The ratings are increasing. But yeah, I mean, where we start is an obsession with the fan experience and breaking down the barriers between the player and the fan. And I think each one of our players are sharing the behind the scenes. They're sharing the excitement. We get our fans, our players are actually in the upper deck every night. Our players get to the upper deck and they're literally high-fiving fans, taking pictures with the fans, giving roses to little girls. We celebrate more. And so we're building that world. And so again, it's do things every night people have never seen in front of a live crowd. In baseball, that happens with great moments, but you're hoping something happens. We script unbelievable walk-ups, crazy dancing celebrations. The players are doing trick plays every night. They're working on backflip catches and doing aerial catches and doing things that people have never seen before. I challenge each one of our players to bring something new so you can never take your eyes off it. So, again, I never want to say I think Major League Baseball's done a great job, but I think how do you break down the barriers between the player and fans? I think the way the world is going right now, people are hungry for human connection. And so how can a player connect with fans more? My dad, when I played, and now it's probably, you probably told this way, when you hit a home run, act like you've done it before.
Hmm.
That's what I was told. I agree with that 100% back in the day, but now you want kids to be excited about playing. If you look at 600,000 less kids are playing Little League Baseball than 5, 6 years ago. You look at what's happening, the game is changing. And because kids are getting entertained every single day at their fingertips. So when you hit a home run, you get a big strikeout, celebrate, not against the other team, but celebrate for your team, celebrate for the fans, go big. You're seeing Major League Baseball do more of this in the dugouts, which is great. But man, I love what's what happened with the World Baseball Classic. You're seeing emotion, you're seeing
Right.
electricity, and
Hmm.
people are watching. We celebrate everything in Banana Ball, and the fans want to celebrate with us.
One of the things that I think is pretty true, and you really nailed it, Jesse, is this whole, almost like stoic approach that baseball players have had to some extent. How do you find the right players? How do you encourage them to sort of buy into this vision? Especially because if you grow up playing baseball at a high level, as you said, that's not your natural, that's not your default, I guess. So how do you find the right players?
Well, we have two different goals. Major League Baseball, the goal is to win. Every team has to win. Our goal is to create the greatest show and greatest experience for fans every single night. Our mission, fans first, entertain always. And when we're very clear with all of our players do audition videos. And now we're having, I mean, we just saw Jackie Bradley Jr., an all-star World Series champion. He's playing full-time with us. We've had numerous MVPs, Cy Young Award winners, even Hall of Famers play with us. They want to have fun. We learned this when we were playing traditional baseball. We had 6 years in a regular league and our players just had fun every day. We won 3 of the 6 championships with all the dancing, with all the celebrations, with all the hijinks. We just won because we were having fun. And so again, we're very clear. Now we've had thousands of players reach out to us. I mean, we're fortunate. We're paying guys 2, 3 times what minor leaguers are playing. Their average six figure pay and only and playing 100 less games. Literally playing 100 less games and getting paid that. But it's not about the money. They're playing in front of sold out crowd every single night and they get to have fun. And that's what's really cool. Major leaguers that join us for one night, they come out and they said, I never got to have a great farewell. And I get to get a sold out crowd giving me a standing ovation. I get to come up and have fun one more time. That's what's one of the coolest moments. Our guys want to do new things every night fans have never seen. And they keep challenging each other. And that's what's fun about it.
I don't even know what to ask you because I can ask you 100 different questions, and my my mind is racing because this is all I've done, since I was born. Basically, my dad played baseball, I played baseball. My Dominican background, even though I was born in New York City, uh, it's synonymous with baseball. It's like a religion. But I agree with you on WBC. Watching Tatis, Acuna, Judge, showing their personalities. These are great looking kids, very marketable, and it's exciting. You talked about what doesn't work. What are some of the things over the last 5 years that you've seen, okay, these are 2 or 3 things that fans that love and is worth double clicking on?
Well, the framework we use is the gold standard, and so our gold standard is something that is amazing for the live crowd and also amazing for the digital crowd. Everything we're thinking about, we have, geez, numerous people, and our video team is expansive, and we travel. Again, this is crazy. We travel with 200 plus people to every single city we go to. I
Wow.
mean, we're spending $20 million just on traveling people because we invest in those high touch. Again, going back to the human touch. And so, what we look for and the things that we're looking for are big moments. Every one of our teams now have singers and have dancers and have live music. So they all have skills. They all have dancing. We have choreographers. We have people that can do things that are really special, tumbling, acrobatics. So again, it's just a different thing than baseball in the sense, like Alex, like as a player, I do think there's a world where at some point a guy's going to do a trick play like we do, and the people are going to go nuts. I think it's going to happen. I think, if they miss it, they're in trouble because I know what would happen. The coaches and everyone else, and they get more criticism than ever. But when a guy does a backflip catch or catches, I mean, we had a guy do a bare hand backflip catch, DR Meadows, in a game at a major league stadium. It's unbelievable. I mean, now Jackie Bradley's catching balls running behind his back like this. It's fun to watch. And so, the things that don't work, are every day. We have promotions that we just test things, and it's just a silly promotion. Whether it's the living pinata or whether it's a messy baby, or we did a soulmate promotion with people singing on their wife's feet in souls. It was just weird. It just didn't work. Like there's things, love at first bite with people eating hot dogs like Lady and the Tramp, and then they end up making out. It was just weird to watch.
I think some of the best moments that we have, and in my experience, almost 25 years in the big league, there's some of the great strikeout calls by the umpires because they're
Oh yeah.
great. They have some great personalities, and they all have their own particular style. But when a guy is super emphatic and
Yeah.
strikes somebody out, those are big moments. But I can see a moment where naked gun type, where you get a strike three, you play Michael Jackson music, and they start doing the moonwalk, and you
Oh,
you almost those kind of things would be awesome.
So actually, I haven't seen it. We have a dancing umpire that's got hundreds of thousands of followers. He can twerk like no one should ever twerk. I mean, he'll be cleaning the plate and then he'll start just like full on the ground, like doing some weird gyrations while he's cleaning the plate. And he's built hundreds of thousands of followers. And then we have a ninja umpire who does every call at first base by doing a full like tuck, somersault, jump, flip. I can't even name the things he's doing. And then he calls the outs. And so the framework again, we look at every potential boring part of the game. Why do the umpires have to be boring? We were in Texas this past week and we dressed them up as Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and they did the thunderstruck kick when they came out. You have to not take yourself too seriously. Literally, the owner of all this wears a yellow tuxedo. All right. It's about fun. Then everyone's open to experimenting. And yes, the umpires are great. We look at bat boys. How do you make bat boys more exciting? Water boys. We look at every moment around the ballpark to make it more fun. And that's where we have a lot of opportunity to come up with creative ideas.
A lot of business people listening to this, they're like, well, I want to experiment more. I want to do this. Like, what are the processes that you essentially set up in order to sort of ensure that the best ideas, get tried out, that everybody feels like they can bring this to the table? How do you build an organization that really does this and like get nitty gritty with us on this?
So to give you an example, we did not have processes at first. We said, well, what if the pitcher does a dance before he throws? Let's try it. Oh, this works. All right, let's develop a 3-2-2. Third inning, second batter, second pitch, a brand new dance, brand new choreography. All right, now we're doing that every game. So we followed Saturday Night Live to give you an example. I said, if you look at the companies out there that have sustained creativity for many, many years, it's less than a handful. And so, all right, what's the most comparable to us? Saturday Night Live. Every Saturday night, they're doing a brand new show. So how do they do it? Great documentary. Our whole creative team watched it. Monday, they do a whole pitch session. They share all the ideas. Tuesday, they start writing. Wednesday, they have a table read. Thursday, Friday, they start doing rehearsals. Then they do a rehearsal in front of a live crowd at 8 o'clock. They see how it goes. Then at 11:30, they do the best of the best. That's what we do. Tuesday's our creative day. All day today, we've been doing OTT sessions. Every group, every team, broadcast, our entertainment team, our promo team, our creative team, our players, we do all the ideas. Now we get it ready. We go through the best of the best. We set up a table read. We get our props. We do rehearsals. We go to the stadium. We do rehearsals for hours beforehand. Then we practice in front of our backstage group that comes in before everyone else so we can see how they respond to it. And then we put it in the show. And then we do an LCP on how to get better. That's just what has worked for us. I think there's just a better framework. If you want to be creative, look at the friction parts. Look at the friction points in the customer point of view and just start doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And so we look at all the boring parts, the challenging parts, all the things that fans hate, and we do the opposite, and then we start creating from there.
Jesse, as I'm hearing you talk, I guess my question is, Savannah is in Georgia. Let's talk about Jason's home team, the Atlanta Braves, who are one of the best run franchises in sports. Iconic fan base, historic franchise, on the field, A+, and they have a great history. And they also have a great business that generate a tremendous amount of revenue through the team co and through the real estate co, which what they've built there is really incredible. If you own that team today with your wife, how do you make that? Usually you go from good to great. How do you make it from great to elite?
It's hard for me to answer that question because I would never own it. And I will never, Emily and I own 100% of this team. We got shareholders, investors that reach out to us regularly. And the answer is always no. Because what they want is they would like to have control and they want a return of investment. What Walt Disney learned better than anyone else, you got to control. You got to control everything if you want to have a great experience. Shareholders, investors would come to us and say, you need to charge the ticket price that you could get, which is $200-$300. You shouldn't just keep everything at $40, $50, and $60. You should have ticket fees. You should not pay your fans taxes, which you pay all your fans taxes. A $30 shirt is $30. You should have tons of sponsorship. No, we eliminated all of our ads at our stadium. No, you should go for the maximum TV rights. No, we keep all of our games free on YouTube. They would say all of this. And so when you look at a major league team like the Braves, they do a tremendous job. But they've been with Liberty Media where they have to release all their numbers. They spin off now. They got to release everything and they got to respond to shareholders on why are they doing everything. The only person that I worked for and Emily works for and our entire staff works for is the fan. And every day we got to fight for the fan to create a better experience for them. And that includes doing things that don't make sense financially. So I can't even go into a conversation of owning a major league team. I have no interest, zero, because everyone that's involved with that is talking about how do you drive more revenue? How do you drive more sales? How do you drive more wins? for me, it's how do you create a better experience to drive more fans? That is everything. That drives it all for us. So I would never own a team because of responding to shareholders.
Unless you're 100% of the Braves.
Yes, you own 100%, but you also have that players union, the
Right,
commissioner, the
right.
occasional. We own the league, we own everything, and so it's like
Yeah.
that's the difference. You still have to work for someone. We just work for the fans.
Good point.
And so is that the plan forever then, Jesse? Like asking the natural follow-up. I mean, it's like, where does this go from here? I know people are knocking on your door.
Yeah.
I know that a big media, whether it's media companies, whether it's other sports leagues, whether it's just billionaire investors who love what you're doing, like what's the 5, 10, 20, 50-year plan for this company?
5 years ago, we just started Banana Ball, so I could never expect we could run a 3.4 million fans with over 4 million people on the wait list. So, and playing football stadiums in front of 100,000 fans, that's crazy. I mean, we sold out a cruise ship last month, and so the long goal, the long game for us is, I believe we're going to create 1 billion fans, and it happens one fan at a time. We're getting a lot of interest and excitement about the youth Banana Ball and bringing the walk ups, the trick plays, the fun, the dancing, all that. A ton of interest I'm hearing from all over the country. We started doing that. We had a tournament with fans from 48 states, kids from 48 states come in. That sold out immediately. So we'll dabble in that, and then we'll do some international. We might create a Banana Land experience in the future, where the first ever sports and entertainment world where people can meet the characters, music, live, everything. And so there's a big picture that we're going to.
And so tell us about your audience, Jesse. I mean, I had an interesting experience with my 8-year-old daughter. We're going on vacation in a few weeks, and we're flying into Savannah. And she was asking me, she's like, "Are we flying into it? We're going to South Carolina." And she said, "Are we flying to Atlanta?" And I said, "No, we're flying to Savannah." And she goes, "Savannah Bananas?" I mean, just like that. So that's like her. And I said, "Wait, how did you know about? Did you hear me talking about Savannah Bananas?" She's like, "No, we watched it on TV last summer, and remember, and they were doing all the crazy stuff." If you're reaching Alice Kelly, like who's much more interested in K-pop Demon
Yeah.
Hunters, although she does dabble in baseball, as Alex knows. Tell us about the demos, because I know it's something that Alex thinks about when it comes to baseball all the time. Who is the audience here?
Well, one of the main things, I'm glad you said that. I mean, attention beats marketing 1000% of the time. So we spend all our time thinking on ways to create attention and get people. So whether you're 2 or 82 years old, we're thinking about that. And so, yeah, I mean, this past year, you think about how it's grown. I mean, we sold 1.9 million merchandise items just this past year, and now we have two more teams, and that's going to probably close to double this year. And so when you look at how we're getting out and what our demographic is, it is people that want to come and have fun. When we look at our YouTube, which again, every game is for free. And again, we have non-exclusive deals with ESPN and TNT and CW. Every game's free. So we're having a wide range of audience, but young female, we do very well in the young female, 18 to 34, a little bit affluent is what we're seeing. But I mean, I don't try to target a certain demographic. I'm trying to just create something that we would love. And we're finding out that our fans of all ages are loving it.
And so when it comes to the media side, you mentioned non-exclusive deals. Like, how do those negotiations go if you want to keep it free on YouTube?
Sure. I mean, we're leaving millions of dollars on the table. I mean, millions. And there's some of the biggest networks in the country that said, "Yeah, we just can't do it." And we also had some in the past that said they never done it, and now they do it. And so yeah, again, the goal is how do you keep things for free for fans? And then also, how can you hit a wider demographic? I mean, on ESPN last year, we averaged over 500,000 viewers, and we were an exhibition league then. We're not even a league. We weren't even a league last year. We had games that were getting over 1 million people watching. And again, just an exhibition back there. And now we're seeing even our reruns last year, we're getting 700,000 people watching on ESPN, plus our YouTube audience. So it's hitting a different demographic than actual just sports fans. But now when you have Jackie Bradley Jr. and a lot of these guys that are double A, triple A, they're throwing 94, 95 miles an hour, can play. It's also people show up. And that's the biggest surprise. They're like, these guys can actually play. They're shocked. This isn't. And so again, I'm not focused on the baseball audience. I'm focused on the young audience, the people that want to have fun, but it just happens to age up to grandparents as well.
And so when you think about the sort of the next turn of this, what what's getting in your way? What are the things that I mean, I hate the like what keeps you up at night? First of all, I'm pretty sure you don't sleep, so I think that's irrelevant. Um, but what are the threats to this business? Is it do people just sort of fall out of love with it? Like what do you worry about?
Yeah. So that question, what keeps you up at night? And I think the better question is what gets you up in the morning. And
Yeah.
I get up every morning at 4 or 5 o'clock. You see this, guys, right here? Every day. This is my idea book. And so I've been doing this for 8 years. I write down 10 plus ideas. Our whole team's writing down ideas. And so the biggest thing, oh, it's a fad. It'll be gone in 15 minutes. I use that. That's a little chip on my shoulder. Every day, if it's a fad, okay, well, wait till we do this new thing. Wait till we do this new thing. And so as soon as we become comfortable with doing things that are fine or doing things that are just okay, when we're not plussing the experience, we're not pushing into unknowns that we've never done before, like testing cruise ships or football stadiums, or just in the next year, people will hear about where we're going to play and the ideas of that. Doing the things that no one's ever done before. That's what keeps pushing it. Dana White's a great example. I mean, think of things from the Sphere to the White House. He's pushing the envelope on what he could do. I have so much respect and admiration for someone like that in WWE that changes the storylines and challenges it. I think that's what keeps me going. And I'm going to do things that we will have big failures. The more things that we try, we need to have bigger failures. And so we're going to have multi-million failures. We had a $6 million failure last year. We're going to have bigger ones as we go. That excites me in a weird way because that means we're pushing the envelope on what can be done.
What was the $6 million failure?
We have a lottery list. You have to join the lottery. You have to win the lottery to get tickets. We had a 4,000 ticket opportunity in Savannah, because our Savannah goes really fast. Our team by mistake sent it out to 44,000 people. And so they all got excited to buy tickets. And then I'm flying and I'm getting all these messages, people freaking out. So we immediately sent an apology. And then we said, we will take care of you as well for any other game. And so that cost over $6 million. And then what's crazy is that we realized some of those people that were coming, we get like a 90% plus redemption on our tickets. They weren't showing up, some of them, because there was free tickets. So then we were buying them back, even though they never paid for them. We were paying people to then get their tickets back so then we could get them to fans. And that cost us over $6 million, but that's the epitome of fans first. We're focused on long-term fans over short-term profits, and we will always do that.
You are an enormous key man, you and key woman on this deal. And when you think about legacy and you think about building this business for the greater good of 1 billion fans, you still have to have an exit plan. W- What is the exit? Do you go public like the Braves and the New York Knicks? Do you sell to a big private equity group? Do you sell to your children? Maybe talk to us a little bit about that. How much time have you thought about this?
I don't think about exit plan. I think about how do we get better every single day? How do we create something people have never seen before? How do we create more fans? If it gets to a point, if I had to think about it, no interest in going public, no interest in shareholders or other owners. It would have to be a family business. I probably think of what's happened with Chick-fil-A. You look at the business, as soon as they go public or get another different ownership, they change their goals. They got to repay the debt. They got to get money. They got to do all that. All those things that takes away from the fan experience. So I will do this till the day I die. My wife knows it. My kids know it. It brings me so much joy seeing the fans get emotional, hugging after the game and saying, you have no idea how much this meant to us. A bucket list trip. We waited 3 years on the wait list to get tickets. That feeling you can't get anywhere else. And that's what I want to keep building.
All right, we're gonna wrap with our rapid fire. You talk pretty fast, so I'm not worried about you on this one, Jesse. It's just 5 or 6 questions, and we'll bounce them back and forth. Alex, do you have it in front of you?
I do.
Okay, great. All right, here we go. What's your favorite Bananas memory?
The one that comes at Fenway Park for me. So kid grew up south of Boston, was bat boy for the Red Sox honorary as a 5-year-old. Had my first fans first moment. Lee Smith came up and sat down next to me for 20 minutes. I was a shy, introverted, only child. Had that memory, and that put me on my mindset of, hey, create fans. And when we sold out Fenway Park, 37,000 fans, everyone singing Yellow, flashing their lights, me standing on the field, I got emotional saying, look at what we did. And my dad, I was able to take him out there, play catch. My son, it is a moment that you can never replicate.
Fenway Park, polar opposite to me. Perfect. I actually love Fenway Park. Here's my question: best rivalry in the Bananas.
Oh, it's Bananas Party Animals. So that started. So the Party Animals right now have more followers than every Major League Baseball team on TikTok. They're selling out Major League stadiums. So they have 3 Major League stadiums already sold out completely. The Bananas aren't even playing now. And so the Party Animals have grown a fan base that's unbelievable. And they started with the Bananas. They won the championship in 2023. They beat them this past year. They play each other. They're playing each other at Superdome, 140,000 fans. That's the biggest rivalry.
All right. What's your favorite Bananas dance so far?
Jeez. We do new ones every night, but the one tradition, I think it's very important for people to have traditions and ones that really stand. And our banana ball tradition is Hey Baby. And you'll see videos of 50, 60, 70,000 people going, hey, hey, baby. Ooh, and just seeing the whole stadium, whether you're 2 or 82, everyone doing it. We do it every single night, before the game, middle of the game, and then when we're signing autographs till the end of the night, we do one last one with maybe 400 people still left hours after. That's our tradition. Love that dance.
Favorite baseball player of all time?
Ooh, good question. Uh, so again, go back to when you were a kid. So when I was playing, I watched you a lot. But again, growing up south of Boston, it was Pedro, man. I loved watching Pedro. I know this is tough for you, but it was Pedro because again, the flair, the tenacity, the fun when he wasn't playing. That was great. I loved all those. I mean, you look at Ozzie Smith and doing the flips and King Rib Jim, so fun to the game. But Pedro was fun to watch.
Not only a good friend, best competitor, best pitcher ever faced, and the best inning pitched at Fenway Park, 1999 All-Star game. Wow.
Unbelievable. I was 15 years old watching that. It's unbelievable.
All right, 2 more. What is your favorite stadium?
That's a tough question. It's an easy one would be Fenway, but these football stadiums are getting very interesting. Clemson last year, 81,000 was a lot of fun. These NFL stadiums are a lot of fun. I think it's one we haven't played it yet, and it might be one that's even crazier, like at a beach or at Central Park or our favorite stadium. We haven't played there yet. It's going to be something that no one's ever seen before.
Yeah, maybe Manchester United. Anyways, what team do you want to see win a championship more than any?
In baseball and banana ball.
You call
Any.
it.
All right, I'm going to go banana ball, and here's why. We relaunched the Indianapolis Clowns. They were a Negro League team that was known for the show. They signed Hank Aaron, the first one to sign Hank Aaron, first one to sign women, Tony Stone, Connie Morgan, Mamie Johnson, had Satchel Paige play for them, Goose Tatum. They kept playing even after the Negro Leagues disbanded. They played all the way till 1989, putting on a show all over the country. We worked with the Negro League Baseball Museum, brought them back. Jackie Bradley Jr., the first pick, Ryan Howard, the primetime coach. For them to win a championship, we just honored a 91-year-old former Clown this past weekend, and see the emotions. To do that for everyone that wore that uniform, the Clowns winning a championship is pretty special.
All right, Jesse Cole, this was a huge pleasure. Thanks for hanging with us. Really fun. Can't wait to get out and see this live in person. Really appreciate your time and your energy.
Thanks so much, guys.